Hello, welcome to this coding challenge video. Let's start the timer. So, can we make Snake, the classic Snake game, in Python in less than 15 minutes? The answer is no. Well, you probably already know. If this video is longer than 15 minutes, then you know that I failed. Right. Right, so we're going to use PIGame, which I've already installed. This is not a tutorial video, so I'm not going to tell you how to do things or type very well. Here we go. As P, so I've got PIGame now imported, so I need to initialize PIGame. That allows us to use it on different platforms, and at the end we want to quit PIGame, and let's get a width sorted out. It's going to be about 850 on this screen. Height is going to be about 700, and we need a surface. PIGame renders the surfaces, so that's going to be PIGame.display set mode to create that window. Set mode, and then in here we want to add our width and height as a tuple. That's why I've got the brackets inside the brackets. It's a tuple. And then we can make Bob a certain color by asking fill to fill it with a color. Let's go and make another tuple. We'll call that fill color, and that will equal no red, a little bit of green, not that much, 80 green and 80 blue. And in fill we can put fill color. There we go. And then we want to let's make a game loop. So are we running? Yes, that'll be true. So while running, do this, and we want to check that the user hasn't or has tried to close down the window. Then we want to quit or set running to false. So for every event, we'll call that E in PyGames event dot. Just need to get those, don't we? If E or its type is PyGames constant quit, all in capitals to signify that's a constant, then we want running to be false. So we've got to do all that just to get the game loop running. So in here is our game loop. So first thing that we might do is fill Bob. There we go. And then PyGame display flip function that we call, and that applies everything that we want to happen to the surface to the display itself, to the window. Right, so can we run it? So we just want the PyGame window running, and it should be a kind of, that looks like a like a 1990s color. We need to go a bit brighter than that. In fact, we don't have time to fiddle around with colors, but colors are important, and I've disappeared. Sorry, there we go. Hello again. Right, so can we get, right, we need to build our snake's logic. So basically, using this orange, we want a list, and then in that list, so that's like an array if you're used to other programming languages. Only got 10 minutes left. Each item in the list is going to represent an X or a Y coordinate. So the first segment, the head of the snake, will be indices 0 and 1 for the X and the Y. 2 and 3 will be the next segment, X and Y. And then where am I up to? 4 and 5 will be the X and Y. And we'll try and build our snake, starting with the head there in the middle of the screen, and go up like that. Okay, and then whenever we need to draw the snake or move the snake, we just have to iterate over those numbers, maybe skipping by 2 to hit the next X position, and you'll see what's going to happen. Right, well, what's supposed to happen anyway. And then we need some key input as well. Right, let's build our snake down here. So we're going to say snake equals, so to make a list, not a tuple this time, we use square brackets. We want just two coordinates, our coordinates of our head of the snake, which is going to be indexed at 0 and 1. So we want width divided by 2 and height divided by 2. That puts the head of the snake in the middle of the screen. Let's go and see if we can draw the snake. So we'll make a new function, render snake, and let's just see. So we need a loop over the snake while I is less than, we'll just go the whole length of the snake or something. Length of that list minus 1, and I equals 0. I start at 0, and then we'll say draw the snake, and when you've drawn the snake, increase I by 2, because we want to start drawing at the next X position. We want to kind of ignore the Y components, Y items, because we're going to just say, sorry if this doesn't make sense, it's not a tutorial anyway, I'm just talking to myself. Right, so P dot draw, 8 minutes, P dot draw, it's quite exciting, P dot draw rectangle, and rectangle takes, yes, service we want to draw to Bob, is that what we call it, Bob. Color, we'll just have a temporary color, and then temporary rectangle, so we're going to have to create those now. Right, so temporary color is just a tuple, so let's have a black snake, a white snake, we'll go for a white snake. Isn't that a band, White Snake? Go and listen to some White Snake after this. If it goes well, we'll celebrate with White Snake. If it goes badly, commiserate ourselves, because you're involved. It's your fault if this doesn't work either with White Snake. And now we need to make a rectangle. So in PIGame, a rectangle is made with 4 components in a tuple: its position and then its size. So we want, we've got to build this in our loop, because it's going to change depending on what segment we're at, or snegment. No, that doesn't make any sense. Temporary rectangle equals snake indexed at I, so that's its I position, its X position, sorry. This is supposed to be a tuple. Then its Y position is going to be the next item in the list, so that's I plus 1. Also, that's got to be an integer. Let's just make sure that we're sending an integer there, Python, so you don't have a heart attack. And then its size, let's call that step, because I always think of it like our snake can exist on a grid, and it's only going to move by the diameter of its width or height, because it's kind of a square on a grid, and we're going to call that step. Let's go and make that up here. Step equals 20. That's the size of our snake, 20. Okay. So we've got our rectangle now. Okay, we should be able to render a snake. Let's go and do that in our game loop. So after we use fill to fill the background color, 5 minutes left, we then want to render our snake. So render snake. Okay, and that should keep iterating around. Right, possible bugs here. Obviously syntax, but it's worked. The other thing might be global variables and things, but it looks like we're okay. I'm going to just make the shell a bit smaller so you can see my face next time. Oh, you can see my bald head at the top. There we go. Right, so we can render the snake. Next, we want to be able to move the snake, maybe. Let's get key, right. key input, def check input, and first we want to go and get hold of a load of keys. We'll call those k. K equals pi key, is it get key pressed. So it's going to go and get all of the keys that have been pressed, store it in that list, I think, and then we're going to say if k PIGame k, I'm looking for a constant for up. Yeah, I think that's what we write. If k is true, so if that key has been pressed down, if the up key has been pressed, then direction that snake is going equals 1. Okay, so we'll say 1 will be going up, 2 down, left 3, right 4. Okay, and we need to go and make direction. So let's write direction equals 1. No, we want our snake to be going down first for some reason. Or up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Okay, we've got 3 minutes. We've got to hurry up. Why am I making puns? Right. If... Oh, that should be elif. That won't matter, will it? If it's... so if we press down, then we're going down. Up, down, so there's 2. Yeah. Else if... Move that to the top of the screen so you can see it a bit better, sorry. Left... Directions 3, up, down, left, right. Oh, you know what? Python. This is the first speed coding challenge I've done in Python. I'm only just kind of like learning Python. It's quite hard to do fast. You have to get indents right and everything. Right. Yep. So that's the direction. Now we need to test that with moving our snake. So move snake. So what do we want to do here? We want to iterate over all the segments, moving from the back. So the very end of the snake, we want to move to the next segment's position from the back. Yeah, because that's the way the information or the data is kind of flowing in terms of the logic of our snake. So we want to say I equals the last segment. Okay, I equals snake, or length of our snake. Oh, we can get... Yeah. Yeah. How do we get hold of our last segment? Length of the snake. Yeah, we need an index here. Length of the snake list, minus 2. Do we want to start with the X position? Yes, I think so. So while I is greater than, do we want to do the head of the snake? No, let's not do the head of the snake. So the head of the snake occupies index 0 and 1. So while it's greater than 1, loop through this, and we want to say, we've got a minute left. I'm not going to finish this. Snake. Snake index I equals snake. Come on, let's hurry up. Snake I int. Don't panic. Don't panic. Stay calm. Situation like this. So that's going to be I minus 2. Yes, because every index is going to... Right, so we can just... Yep. Is that right? And then we want to say I minus equals 1. So then we loop through backwards. That's all the segments of the body of the snake. And then we want to say snake 0. If direction is 1, then we want to move up. So we're going to say 10 seconds left. we want to say snake 0. No, that's the X position. Oh, time's up. We've failed. We'll go and listen to some Whitesnake to cheer ourselves up. I'm going to try and finish. I'll reset it just so I can see how much time is elapsing. There we go. Right. So if direction is 1, so that's going up, we want to affect the second item on the list, on our snake list, because that's the first Y position. Right, so Y, what's it going to be? It's going to equal its position. Oh, I can just write minus equals the step number. There we go. Yes. Elif, it's going to move the same length as its body, as each segment's body. If direction is 2, then snakes, that's going down. So still we're talking about the Y component plus equals step amount. If, oh, I copied the wrong thing. Sometimes it's quicker to type things, isn't it, than copy and pasting. Right, if direction is 3, then we want to talk about the first item on our list, because that's the X position of our first segment. We want to go left, minus equal the step, and then finally, if direction is 4, we must be going right. So we talk about the X item plus equals that. Okay, save that. So we've got our move snake, and yeah, so we want to move it before we render it. And we only want to render it when a certain amount of time has elapsed, else our snake's just going to go move really, really fast. So we're going to have to use a timestamp. So what we're going to do is going to get the current time in milliseconds since the start of the game. Then find the difference between the time now and the last time we took a record or a stamp of the time. And if, say, 500 milliseconds, so half a second has elapsed, then move the snake. Else, don't move it, just draw it again. Okay, so we want to say if the time now, so let's just make a variable, time now equals PIGame dot time dot ticks get, or will it be tech? It'll probably be get ticks, I think, like that. We can check the documentation soon if that's wrong. Yep, that's that. And so we want to say if time now minus the last time stamp, which we'll have to go and create, then or it's greater than speed, so that's going to be 500 milliseconds. Let's just put that in there, 500 milliseconds, then move snake, move our snake. And we've only got one segment at the moment. We should go and add some more segments. That's probably the last thing we have to do. Move the snake. Oh, also don't forget to timestamp. So timestamp equals, let's not copy and paste, time.get ticks. There we go, new timestamp. And let's just create timestamp up here before I forget. Timestamp equals 0. That'll do. Go move the snake. Right, let's see if we can move the snake. Run. I think I've done everything I need to get it moving. Oh my goodness, it's actually moving straight away. Right, hit left, hit right, up, down. No, it's not moving because I haven't called check keys. Well done if you realise that. So 5 minutes has gone. You know what, I'm going to stop in the next 5 minutes. Right. here we are. So I like to put the input checking early on in the game loop. So do that, check input. So that should, yep, go and call this function check input. Direction, do we have global access to that? I think so. I haven't had trouble with oh, now we've got trouble. PIGame key has no attribute get key pressed. So I've got the name of the function wrong. How do I stop this? I'm gonna have to force quit like a Jedi. There we go, force quit. Get key pressed in check input. Will that be key pressed get? Now let's go to the documentation. It gives me a chance to show you PIGame.org, fantastic resource for all your PIGame needs. Also, I think it will have information here of how to pip install this module in Python if you're not sure how to get going there. We could use REPL.it, which now sorts that out for you kind of automatically if you create a new REPL PIGame. It's got it as like its own, almost like a standalone language compared to the others. Right, get pressed. Oh, I put key pressed, I think. Hopefully that's the only change I need to make. Get pressed. Right. Okay, while we're still in the code, let's try and grow our snake. So we should be able to make a little loop and say something like number of segments equals, let's say if we wanted 10 segments, then we could say I equals 0 for a counter. We're going to say while I is less than number of segments. Basically, we just need to append two items to our list, an X position and a Y position. And so what we could do is just grow the snake this way because it's moving up to begin with. So we can copy all the X positions. Let's do that first. Snake dot append, and it just wants to be the last. It wants to be snake I know, let's refer to the last snake on the list. So the length snake minus 2. And that's the index of the snake we want. So snake length minus 2. There we go, I think that's right. And that needs to be square brackets. There we go. So basically I'm picking not the last item on the list, but the last but 1. So that's the X position, and then we just need to go back 1 for the Y position. That also wants to be plus, we're going to go down the screen, plus the step amount, 20. Right, and that should run 10 times and give us a longer snake. Run, and this will be the end. Please no bug. Okay, there's a little bug. No, there's another. Oh, so we have got a longer snake, but the key's not working. Okay, we've got 55 seconds, and there was like a little egg, or a little poo, a phantom egg poo was left by the snake. Don't know why that's happened. So it's in check input. Key get pressed. If K is true, direction is 1, LF, key down, K left. I'm definitely calling it. Check input. It's probably got to do with that key press. I've lost my resources. Here they are. Get key pressed. Let's get an example. PIGame get key pressed. Onto GitHub. Keys equals PIGame get pressed. That's exactly what I put, I think. Let's just have a look. Now I can't find my code. There's my code. K equals PIGame key dot get pressed. That's not what I was looking for. Get pressed if variable PIGame dot k left. Is that what I put? Okay, yep. So all that seems right. So it might be a variable issue. So we want global direction there. Move snake. Seemed to work though. Global direction. I mean, step was working fine as well. Anyway, let's run it last time, and then I'm gonna have to, because it's almost half an hour now gone, and I should be eating pizza actually. And also, what they were not positioned in the right way. Oh, it's working. It might have been a global variable issue. But there we go. We've got Snake. We did it in less than half an hour. But speed coding failed. Here's a lucky thing. My language has broken down now. So thank you very much for watching. Leave any questions in the comments. I'll probably start making some Python tutorials for PyGame and things. So if you've got any ideas or requests, let me know. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.